it is time for Week 5 game picks. So we can just really get right into it. Starting off with Bears Commandos, historic rivalry. Have the jerseys up behind me. Luckman, Ball. This is one of the best rivalries of the first 25 years of pro football. So very historical
and it's
background.
so boring ever since.
So big
lowest viewership for like 50 years straight now.
Historic background behind it. I'm gonna go with the Commandos though, because the Bears just a really bad team. The Commandos offense should be able to shred the Bears defense. Fields versus a pretty solid defense, I don't think is gonna be a very good game. So I think Commandos will win this one by probably like 10 to 14 points.
Yeah, the Commanders should. Game, I think it's a little interesting because I don't really know how good Washington is yet. I mean, they've had 2 good games and 2 pretty bad games. So, like against the Cardinals and the Bills. So, this is an interesting game. See if the Bears, if they have any fight left in them after 4 weeks.
Yeah, even if it's a close game, which I guess it could be, Rivera's going to outcoach Eberflus. The receiver core's heating up. McLaurin had a good game, and so did Curtis Samuel. So, the receiver core's finally heating up. Logan Taylor's back at tight end. Sam Howell looks better, and Bears defense, I don't think, can keep up with them on a good day. But even if it's close, I think they get outcoached. There's just not much hope for the Bears in this game or any game at that.
All right, on to the London game, 8:30 a.m. Central Time, Sunday morning. Probably not gonna watch this game, but Bills Jaguars. The game is not in Buffalo. It's in London. The Jags just played at London, so that could be going the way. 2 of the best quarterbacks in football.
No,
Uh-oh.
you don't get to keep spewing this propaganda.
What propaganda?
It's one of the best quarterbacks in football.
All right, just keep talking, Nick.
All right, those 2 very good quarterbacks here. Lawrence and Allen, both probably top 4 quarterbacks.
Bro.
Yeah. Anyway, the reason why I have the Bills win this game is just because how good their offense is looking. It's hard to pick against them. But, the Jags playing back-to-back weeks in London, that could be going for them. And Lawrence is playing some really good football right now. So, yeah, this is definitely a go-either-way game. I think it's going to be a close one to the end. I think the Bills pull away, though, and get the win. But, it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Jags won because it's going to be a really good game. Or it should be, at least.
It's so good you're not going to watch. I think
I'm not watching because it's early Sunday morning.
Wait.
I'll be up for it.
I'll be up.
Well,
I'll watch your podcast while I watch it.
I won't be watching the game, probably. Maybe I'll catch the ending.
Wait, Nick, what are you drinking there?
7 Up.
At the end, it'll be 52 to freaking 3.
All right. I think Bills. Just the way they've looked the last 3 weeks, they've pretty much looked like best team in the AFC. Just the last 3 weeks, they've dominated every game. I'm not gonna say they dominate the Jags. I think the Jags will put up a fight. I just haven't seen much. Not much has really impressed me from the Jags so far this year. They've been super up and down. Their defense has been pretty lackluster, which coming into the year we knew that. But then the offense hasn't been great. It's been okay, but whenever I watch the Jags, it just feels like it's Calvin Ridley or it's nothing. So
I didn't think the Jags defense was going to be lackluster going into the year. And
I didn't think they were going to be good. And the offense hasn't been what it was projected to be, so that doesn't help. But yeah, I think the Bills win by, I'll say, 7-10, like 27-20 or 30-20.
I don't think the Jags can put up 20 in this game. They could maybe get there, but I think the Bills put up like 40 plus. I think the Bills are going to destroy this Jaguars defense because I just think they're I think Josh Allen is on just a totally different stratosphere than Trevor Lawrence. They shouldn't be compared with how they've been playing these past weeks. So
Lawrence has been playing just as good as Allen.
No, he hasn't, Nick.
What are you talking about?
Nick.
Not even close. It's not close.
Allen just had as many touchdowns and completions last week, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, dude? That's been good with Allen, but he has had the shaky
3 weeks, bro. He's been he's been the
He had
MVP.
one bad debut, dog.
He's still had some shakeover tunnel-worthy play since then. But they're very good quarterbacks.
Lawrence-
So it's like
No, they're not. Trevor Lawrence is not a very good quarterback.
you'll pick in
He's
between
a
like
good one.
really good and really good. Like
No,
you
you're
can go
not.
either way.
No, you're not. You're picking between the best quarterback from the last 3 weeks, and he had one bad opening week, and this is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. It's him or Herbert, and Herbert hurt his finger, so I'm going Allen right now.
Mahomes.
And no, Allen's played better than Mahomes. I'm talking about
Okay,
the
well,
last week.
as far as the last 3 weeks, yes, Allen's been the best.
Head and shoulders above Lawrence. And the Jaguars have looked. I mean, the Falcons' defense just fell apart, leaving like Ridley wide open on that first touchdown. And I think James Cook is a better running back than Etienne so far. So I mean, yeah, I think the Bills destroyed this Jaguars. They're just so they're I don't know. I don't think the Jaguars are any good.
All right, on to the Texans, Falcons. This is actually my biggest upset. I have 2-point underdogs winning, and so I took the Texans as the one I want to pick for my upset of the week. But anyway, this is an interesting game. It's in Atlanta. Atlanta's 2-0 at home this year, but it's just the quarterback. This big difference here. I think Stroud showed he's way better than Brittle. I could see the Falcons' run game getting going versus the Texans, maybe help them control the ball and keep it close. But it's just hard to see them winning the game. But again, it's a tough game to predict. Falcons are favored, but I'm taking the Texans.
Yeah, I think this game's kind of a coin flip. Last week, I picked the Texans pretty much solely based off of bias, and it worked. So I'm going to go with that again until they let me down. The thing that scares me about the Falcons, like Nick said, was the run game. I think the Texans' run defense, it struggled in the past, not against the Steelers because the Steelers' offense just can't do anything. But like against the Colts and the Ravens, it struggled. So that's the one thing that scares me. But I'm curious to see. I mean, just another game for Stroud. I mean, every week I'm just like, the last 4 weeks have just been in awe of him. I mean, he's legit had like this so far. He's been one of the best rookie quarterbacks like through 4 weeks I've seen. Like legit, no interceptions. Like he's making it look so easy for a rookie. I mean, usually every rookie has like a few mistakes. Usually rookies don't really have poise in the pocket, but he just looks so calm in the pocket, and that's so rare for a rookie. So it's just another game for Stroud to progress. I'm curious to see what he looks like this week.
Yeah, I think Bijan gets great stats against this Texans run defense, but I don't think Ritter, like, once again, we're going to have to say that Ritter's going to have to step up to win this game. I mean, Texans look hot like right now. So, I mean, beating Steelers and the Jags beat the Falcons. So once again, off that transitive property, it looks like Texans have this game. So, I mean, Dameon Pierce looks hot these last 2 games as well. So the rookie quarterback Stroud is so much better than Ritter, kind of like the Allen Lawrence comparison almost. So yeah, there's just no way. I don't think the Falcons can keep up with them. I wouldn't even call it a coin flip, to be honest. I think Texans have the advantage here, but because Ritter's gonna have to step up and he just hasn't done it.
All right, on to the Lions, Panthers. This is Jude Stinker. I think the Panthers, maybe can make it interesting for a half or so if their defense can play good. But then again, it's in Detroit. Goff's really good at home. The Panthers' offense is just way outmatched here. So give me the Lions to win by a pretty solid amount.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Goff at home versus Goff away is a completely different quarterback. I think the Panthers could put up a fight. I don't know. I think the Lions, this whole, like, so far this season, I feel like they've wanted to make like a statement, because I feel like no matter what the Lions do, like during the regular season, like they have to win. Like their goal is to win the division, and they seem so like locked in on that. And
they're playing like one of the best teams in football right now.
They're playing like one of the best teams in the NFC. I mean, I'd probably have them fourth best team in the NFC, behind San Fran, Philly, and Dallas. That's for the Lions. That's pretty remarkable. We'll see how they improve, how they progress along. But yeah, I don't. This is kind of like off topic, but you see the Panthers are trying to trade for a number 1, Nick.
A receiver.
Yeah,
T. Higgins.
The report that I read was like they're so all in, like they want to do it this season. Like they're all in on this season.
Because
Higgins.
Thielen's not a number one.
Yeah,
Well, it's because Thielen is he can be a number one from the slot, but you really want to have an outside guy. So that's why
but he's injured though. He's out for a few weeks.
Who, Thielen?
No, T. Higgins.
I know T. Higgins is out, but they could probably still trade for him.
Yeah, but why would you want to trade?
Want Higgins?
Week 8. I mean,
because you could get him in a few weeks and have a franchise number one receiver.
I guess, but I don't want a guy that's injured. That's scary. A rib injury too, that could linger.
I don't know, but anyway, Jackson. Any thoughts on this game?
Lions look incredible. I think I don't think it'll be a stinker necessarily because I think the Panthers have done, considering their situation, have done pretty well to hang with some teams. Like only lost like 3 to the Saints, 17-20, I think it was. I mean, so I think the Lions win this game, and they've looked incredible. Probably the best team the Panthers have had to face, to be fair. So yeah, Lions look better than I think anyone expected. So yeah, Lions get this one because I don't think Panthers just don't have it in them to win a game like this.
On to the Colts-Titans, big AFC South game here. All the AFC South teams are 2-2, so things heating up there. But anyway, yeah, tough one. Like one of the hardest games to predict this weekend. Reason I'm going with the Colts, because I do think these two teams will split. I think the Colts will probably get the home one, and I think the first time the Titans will see Richardson will be tougher than the second time they see him. Just game plan factor, you know. And yeah, but anyway, Vrabel, he's a good coach. He's going to have a pretty good game plan, but so it's going to be an interesting one. I just think the Colts are going to make either the defensive play or Richardson makes the play on offense that wins the game.
All right. I think this is the best defense Richardson is, at least best front seven Richardson's played so far. So we'll see. I mean, last week he had some flash moments, but if you look at he didn't have a good game. Like he was like 11 for like 25 throwing. So, I mean, his first game off concussion, I'll give him a little bit of a pass. Like he's such a fun quarterback to watch. Like some of his like plays he makes like on the run, he might have like a top like 3 to 5 arm in the league. So like just strength wise, but okay, let me back off. I think the Titans are just a better team. I mean, their defense is better than the Colts then their offense, I mean, it's been up and down. Like they've had 2 good weeks, 2 bad weeks, but then the Titans have played like, you know, decent defenses. Their offenses look fine. They looked awful against the Browns defense, who the Browns defense is elite. And it slips my mind who they played week 1, but they
played New Orleans.
Yeah, so 2 like elite defenses.
I wouldn't call them elite.
They're top 5 to 7.
I think the Saints are closer to the 10 range. The Browns are probably in the 5 to 10 range too.
So does the game?
Oh, not 5 to 10. I'd say 5 to 7.
Yeah. So you saying the Saints are 5 to 7?
No, the Saints probably closer to 10. The Browns probably around the 5 to 7.
After last week, after the Bucks game?
What?
Or did the Bucks game influence you on that, or what?
I'm just saying why I think the Saints defense is ranked.
Because I thought the Saints defense they hadn't given up 20 points in like 14 games, and then the Bucks put up 26.
But they're a different team than last year.
Yeah, but still, I mean, the first 3 weeks their defense looked dominant.
That also felt to be more of a Saints offense problem in that game that they put up
20. Yeah. My bad. My bad. We'll move on. Titans offense has looked like fine against, you know, okay defenses. So I think they win this game.
Yeah, I take the Colts here because I think they've surprised most people, and Richardson is my guy right now. I love to watch Richardson, as Jude said. So, and I mean they've besides I think the Jaguars, they lost by 10, so like they've hung close in most of their games. Besides that opening week, and also yes, Richardson did just come off a concussion. Still almost led that comeback to get back at the Rams. So I mean, I think this one's more of a coin flip in my eyes. I'm curious to see if Taylor plays, and I think it's hard to predict a Colts game because I think Richardson is for the most part consistent besides last week, and it's hard to predict that young wide receiver core. So I think they could go either way most weeks. So I'm just hoping that their receivers are able to get it done, and I think the Colts have the talent to do this. I'm curious about the Jonathan Taylor situation as well. So it's a very, very hard week to predict because Colts are just in such a volatile position right now. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Colts.
As far as the Colts go, though, looking forward to the rest of the season. This is the second straight home game. They lost an OT to the Rams last week. You can't lose back-to-back home games versus below-average teams. That's just hard if you want to have a successful season.
The Titans are below average?
Yeah, I'd say they're both below-average teams.
Both 2-2.
But, in general, do we think either team is making the playoffs?
Probably not. But playoff teams are, you can be average and miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I think
average just probably slightly missed the playoffs, and I don't think either of these teams are in that range. But we'll see.
What do you think about the Jags?
I think the Jags are a pretty good team.
But there are 4 weeks that have not looked like that.
I think Colts play Jags.
The Jags looked good last week.
I think Colts have a better chance to beat the Jags than the Titans. And I know they already lost, but
okay, let's move on.
Anyway, on to the blowout of the week. My stinker. Dolphins look like one of the best teams in football. Giants look like one of the worst teams. There you go. Any other thoughts?
Yeah. Giants are screwed. They paid Daniel Jones a lot of money, and everyone knew it at the time it was a bad decision, and now they're paying for it.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I think mainly you need to get weapons. Your O-line needs to protect. They need to get healthy. Andrew Thomas is out.
You look at the sack total, and you say, oh, yeah, he got sacked 10 times. If you look, I saw a video on Twitter today. I watched a video of all 10 sacks. I counted 6 of them that were on him, his fault.
Well, you can also watch the game and see almost every single play he was under pressure, and he made a lot of throws under pressure too.
Nick, I watched the game, bro. He every throw that he completed was wide open. You were texting me.
That was not true,
bro. Oh my god,
that was not true. That every throw was wide open. He was under pressure.
Not one throw. There was not one throw where I was like, oh wow, that was a good throw. It was literally schemed up perfect. Dude was schemed wide open.
Anyway, I will say Monday the O-line was one of the worst O-line performances I've ever seen in my life. It was just so bad.
Everything's so exaggerated for you.
Whose fault was pick 6?
Wait, hold up. Let me finish talking. The O-line was really bad. One, he has a new different receiver, number one receiver, every week. Is it Hodgkins? Is it Hodgins? Campbell? Is it Slayton? Who's the other guy?
Wandale.
Hyatt? Who's the other guy?
Wandale Robinson.
He has 5 number 3 and 4 receivers, and they just have to be a number 1 or this.
It's his really decision to make who's going to be the number 1 receiver.
It's not his decision.
Wait, Nick. I don't mean to keep cutting you off, but okay, what do you think of CJ Stroud's receivers?
I think that Tank Dell is playing really well. I think Collins is playing better than I expected.
They're not number 1s.
But
I think Collins has kind of proved he could be a number 1.
Stroud makes them look good.
Stroud's playing better than Daniel Jones right now.
Yeah, I'm just giving you an example. You don't need quarterback. If you're a good quarterback, you can make it work with because before the season, even I, as a Texan fan, thought our receiving core sucked. And now Stroud's making it look good. These guys were not this good before Stroud.
And no one expects him to be top 12.
And Derek Waller, where is he at? He completely fell off the map.
Anyway, but the Giants, the PFF pass blocking grade versus the Niners was 16.9. That is
that's to be expected versus the Niners.
That is an NFL line should be able to block better than a 16.9 grade.
Well, we weren't about them playing the Niners. I was talking about them last game.
Okay, but last game, as far as Jones, did he play amazing? No, but did he play terrible? I don't think so. I think the O-line was absolutely atrocious. The receivers were atrocious. I'm a big Dable guy, but Dable, that was a very poor called game in my opinion.
Nick, did you watch okay, what do you think about the pick 6 that he threw?
It's not his.
Do not tell me that was not his fault, bro.
It was
down the receiver and threw it right to the corner.
No, the receiver, he thought it was a miscommunication. He thought the receiver was going to go out, but
Bro.
the receiver went in, and the receiver slipped too. If the receiver didn't slip,
so miscommunication. Whose fault is that?
we don't know.
That's not. Don't blame that on a receiver.
That could be the receiver's fault. The receiver could have ran the wrong route.
It's like whenever it's a guy you like, it's always the receiver's fault. But
No,
then
we don't.
If Lamar did that, you would be
now you're getting
Lamar.
No, I like Lamar. Now you're getting into hypotheticals.
It's not a hypothetical.
We don't know if it was the quarterback or receiver's fault, and I'd probably say the receiver slipped, so that's on the receiver too.
Okay, so when we say it's the quarterback's fault, we're crazy, but you can blame the receiver.
I didn't say you were crazy. I just said the receiver slipped. We know the receiver slipped. We don't know if the receiver was supposed to go out or in. We know he slipped though.
You know what Witherspoon said after the game?
No.
He said, "We know that Daniel likes to stare down his receiver and throw it to him." That's literally what he said.
Well, that's what he can say.
Okay.
Anyway,
if that happened to Dak,
now you're getting hypotheticals.
Dak.
Onto the Patriots, the Saints in Foxborough. This is a tough game to predict. As much as I want to pick the Saints because I think Carr's the better quarterback here, Carr's not really healthy. He's practicing more this week than he was last week. I just still think you're going into Gillette Stadium. The reason why I think the Saints could win is just because the defensive injuries of the Patriots are like the worst in the league. Like they're missing so many players. But they did trade for J.C. Jackson today. Hopefully he can be ready to play Sunday. If not, they're going to be really struggling at corner, and that's why I could see Olave getting going and win this game. But, I just still think the Patriots defense is going to have a solid game plan versus a struggling Saints offense. It's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think the Patriots kind of, sneak out with a tight win here at home. But it's, again, a hard game to predict.
Yeah, there's two main reasons why I have the Patriots winning. Number one is the coaching advantage. Belichick versus Dennis Allen might be the biggest coaching advantage of the season. Dennis Allen sucks as a coach.
I think you hate on Dennis Allen a little bit too much. Is he a good coach? No, but is he the worst coach in the league? No.
Yeah, you have the worst coach in the league.
Worst.
And is Belichick the best coach? No. Is Belichick top 5? Probably not. He's like
yes, Belichick's top 5, bro.
He's probably around the 7 to 8 to 10 range.
No, he's better than that.
Reed, Shanahan.
LaFleur, number 1.
Reed, Shanahan. I think you can throw McDaniel in there now.
No.
What's his face? Well, who am I thinking of?
Vrabel?
I think Peyton's. I don't think he's been top 5. So who's the one? There's one that I just. Tomlin. Tomlin's top 5. I think.
Sucks. What?
What?
The Steelers suck too. That's the only reason you get Belichick low is because they're losing.
No, I had him like number 7 going into the year.
That's just wild.
Okay, maybe Belichick's 4 or 5. Tomlin, you could throw in there. McVay, Sirianni.
I'm just saying, like that's wild that you have Belichick that low, bro.
Vrabel.
I get it. You can say that his like. He's not a great GM. He has been a great GM in the past, but he hasn't been in the past few years. I get that, but coaching, no. That was my first reason. Was a coaching advantage. Second reason is because Derek Carr is trying to play through an injury, which never worked for quarterbacks. Like we've seen it in the past. Like a quarterback, like you obviously you want your quarterback to try to gut it out and play, right? But I just thought it was stupid from the jump that he was even playing last week. Like, just sit out. You have Jameis. Like, if you watch the Saints-Bucks game, like, Derek Carr is the reason they lost. Like, every play, he looked scared to, throw downfield because he didn't want to take a hit. Like, he was scared to take a hit, so he just dumped it to Kamara every play. Like, that's not going to work. And then Belichick knows that he's hurt. So, I don't know. I like the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm taking the Saints, just hoping that Derek Carr plays a little bit better this week. So I totally agree with that injury take. So I don't know. I have no idea what the status of Derek Carr is, but I think if Derek Carr is any form of what he can be, I mean, I don't think he's great by any stretch of the imagination. This just seems like a dismal game to me. So I mean, I'm not happy to watch any of these sides. I think probably more low scoring. So I think an injured Carr can still outperform Mac Jones. So. I mean, yeah, just not. And Kamara looks better. So we'll see. I take the Saints just barely, hoping their defense can make up for the loss at offense.
On to the Ravens, Steelers. It's in Pittsburgh. I think the Steelers defense can play Lamar pretty well and keep it a somewhat tight game. But just overall looking at it, Pickett, he says he's ready to play Sunday, but we know he was injured last week. So, tough game. I'm more interested to see these teams play later in the year than right now because I think right now the Ravens are really going to have the number. So, give me the Ravens.
Yeah, the Steelers Pickett's been terrible, and the Steelers offense has been terrible. Again, he's trying to play hurt. It's not going to end well. I think the Ravens win, but I do think it's closer. Oh, God, he looked bad, too, when he came in.
He was thrown into the game.
He should have thrown a pick. That's what he dropped a pick.
Hey, I'm all for him starting this week. I'll be curious to see what would happen, but I think Pickett's going to play.
I don't really know why, but okay, I like the Ravens by I say it's closer than people think, a score, just because it's a divisional game.
Yeah, I gotta disagree. I don't think this will be a close game. I think Lamar's been a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now, and Pickett's one of probably the worst 5.
Did you see that throw he made, bro? Oh my God! I don't know if either of y'all saw that. It was in the corner of the end zone. Oh my God!
Wait, which one?
That was the best throw I've ever seen Lamar make.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I think the Ravens – Steelers just look awful right now. Najee finally got a little bit going, but not really versus the Texans, which, that should be your best game. So, yeah, Steelers just look awful. Jalen Warren probably needs to step up to take over Najee, and they have no Deontay Johnson. He's still got to sit out a week, but then he'll be coming off a bye week, so I'm interested to see the Steelers end. But right now, Ravens got it, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Eagles, Rams. I still don't think the Rams, they're 2-2. I don't think they're a very good football team. I think McVay's, making the most out of this situation. Stafford, he hasn't played very good, but Nakua's played good. Hopefully, Kupp can play good if he comes back this week, which we expect him to play good. But we'll see if he comes back or not. I think even with Kupp, I just don't see them win this game. I think the Eagles are the much better team.
Yeah, the Eagles are the better team, but I don't know what the spread is, but I feel like this could be a close game. Just the Eagles haven't they're.
I think it's a 4.5 point spread.
I might take the Rams to cover, honestly, a backdoor cover, a 10-point game, and then they score late or something. The Eagles haven't looked great. They're 4-0, but they've all been close games, and their secondary has definitely been the weakest. They've been torched a lot, and if there's any guy to do it, there's not any, but if Stafford and McVay can get that done, especially with Kupp coming back.
We don't know if he's coming back yet.
Well, even if he doesn't, I think Stafford and Nakua at this point could have a good day on the Eagles' secondary. The only thing is, I think the Eagles' D-line kind of rolls the Rams' O-line. But it's McVay, so he'll have some stuff schemed up. It'll be an interesting game. I think the Eagles win close.
Yeah, Eagles are no doubt the better team. I'm interested to see if Kupp comes back, and I think Kieran Williams has the ability to keep up with the output that DeAndre Swift has been putting up. So I think Kupp needs to be in this game and needs to be fully ready. So it's hard to bet against the Eagles because they keep winning, but they just look a little shaky. AJ Brown to Hurts looked very good. Finally, it looked like they're getting their groove back, and then they still got Devontae Smith. They don't have a great wide receiver 3, but DeAndre Swift looks incredible too. They have a great D-line, put pressure on Stafford. But I think Stafford is resilient against that pressure because, he'll break his ankle and keep throwing. So, Stafford's great. I think Kupp needs to come back and just be fully healthy. And it's really hard to see the Rams beating a team like the Eagles that are. So I think I would love to see them against another matchup, but it's just gonna be way too hard to beat the Eagles. But they definitely can do it.
On to the Bengals Cardinals. A game I'm not too interested in. The Cardinals could win just because the Bengals, is still playing hurt. We'll see, but again, just looking at the talent, the Bengals, they are much more talented on paper. Have they played better than the Cardinals in the first 4 weeks? Probably not, but it's just a talent mismatch, in my opinion, to where I just have to pick the Bengals. Unless Burrow's just still really injured and can't throw the ball downfield. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think the Bengals are just the more desperate team. I know they have the same record, but obviously the Bengals had way more expectations coming in the year. And Burrow, the first 4 weeks has been like the worst quarterback in the NFL. He's been like bottom like 3 or 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. It's been really bad. I think I don't know. I didn't like him playing to like. I thought they should have sat him out a few weeks ago. Now they can't. They're not going to do that anymore. I think they're a desperate team. And I don't know. I would not bet this game because just the way the Bengals have looked. But I'm just going to trust Burrow.
Bottom 3 to 5 I think is a stretch. Has he been good? No, but bottom 3 to 5.
I don't think it is. I thought it right as he said it, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if it is.
It's awful.
It's like very, very bad.
Like, what game did he play good in? Like the week 2 against the Ravens, he was like, okay. Like he played bad to start, and then he came on late. Week 1
been his best game, but I mean the Rams are a bad game too.
And also Zach Taylor is on the hot seat if they lose this game.
Whoa, I strongly disagree.
Zach Taylor's not a very good coach.
He's a very good coach in my opinion. Like we've seen
very good.
Very good. I mean, he's in the 10 to 12 range.
I don't know. If you're starting 4, you're what
with this talent.
Well, he has an injured quarterback, and that's a big part of it. We've seen
sit him. Sit your goddamn quarterback.
We've seen this Bengals staff outcoach the Bills staff in playoff games, outcoach multiple staffs, compete with the Chiefs staff, and even beat them before. Like he's a good coach. He's showed it. The last 2-3 years, he's a good coach.
Okay, well, I take the Bengals here, which I'm thinking about it, and I honestly see like why you would favor Cardinals here. Like T. Higgins is out, Burrow's looked awful. I'm honestly thinking I'm taking the Bengals out of optimism. Maybe I just need Jamar Chase to perform well for a fantasy team. So, I mean, this Cardinals offense. I mean, like Marquise looks incredible right now. Dobbs looks better than Burrow. And I mean, James Conner can perform at the level that Mixon can. Not consistently. He's definitely not as good as Mixon in my opinion, but I think Conner can do that. So Bengals need to win this game, and I honestly don't know. I guess I'm going to lean towards Bengals still, but Cardinals could easily win this game. It'll probably be higher scoring than the Saints-Patriots game, but it'll still probably be boring.
On to the Jets, the Broncos. Game is in Denver. Very tough game to predict. I would like to say the Broncos could win, because Peyton, I think he's a good coach, but like it hasn't been pretty this year for Denver. I think Hackett kind of knows this Denver defense from being obviously with the team. He coached against Vance Joseph last year when Vance Joseph was the DC of the Cardinals, now the DC of the Broncos, and he played the Cardinals really well. So yeah, I just think that the Jets with Wilson could easily put up a stinker, and even if that happens, I still think the Jets defense wins them this game. But yeah, it's an interesting one. If Wilson and Peyton can work something though, they could win. But I just think the Jets are a more talented team.
Yeah, I just remembered this is actually like before the season. This was hyped up game because y'all remember Sean Payton said that that was one of the worst coach teams he's ever seen. When he's talking about Nat Hackett with the Broncos. I totally forgot about that. So the Jets might be fully pumped. I totally forgot about that. So if the Broncos lose this game, I think Sean Payton is on the hot seat.
Well, Peyton, you would think after, really wanting to back up his comments, he would probably, I don't think if he loses this game, that has nothing to do with his comments actually. But just because people try to throw that narrative, maybe he'll, study really hard this week and harder than ever, but I don't know.
I think the Broncos offense has looked pretty good. And the Zach Wilson looked so good last week, so it really pains me. But I don't know. I'm just going to rely on what he's been over his career and not what he was last week. I'm not going to overreact to him playing good last week.
I think I might be overreacting to the Broncos Week 4 performance versus the Bears, which I know we came out with a win, but it was abysmal because our offense does look all right. But the thing is, I mean, I don't know if Javante's playing. I know he has a hip flexor injury. I didn't see if he was gonna come back or not. And I mean, we got young guys everywhere that you can't guarantee they're gonna produce. Same with Russell Wilson. I think Sean Payton still is a great coach. But I mean, I think they're so inconsistent and they're not performing right now. And I mean, they'll mess up at every turn at some point. So
the coin flip.
Yeah, I take the Jets here coming off a good game versus Broncos coming off a pretty bad game.
On to the Chiefs Vikings. I think this is going to be the shootout of the week. I think both teams can score at ease on offense, really. I think the Chiefs defense has been playing pretty good, though, so maybe that could hurt the Vikings. But Vikings, they need to take care of the football. If they can take care of the football, I don't think it's crazy to say they could win this game. You know, it's at home. They have good offenses, we know. I just think looking at Mahomes versus this Vikings defense, Mahomes is going to put up a ton of points too. So I think the Vikings defense is what makes me really pick the Chiefs and just Mahomes, versus the Vikings defense.
I think I'm going to bet this game, and I think I'm going to take the Chiefs minus whatever they are. I don't think they blow them out. I'm not saying that, but Flores, his main blitzing, right? What is the one do to Patrick Mahomes' blitz? Like, he destroys the blitz in his career. So I think I'm going to take the Chiefs, whatever the spread is this weekend.
The Vikings just, I don't think, know how to pull away from a team. I mean, I would bet my entire house on this game that the Chiefs win this. I don't think the Vikings have a chance at all. There's just no way to me. And I mean, like, obviously there's a chance they could go out and go crazy. Like, I mean,
and then Jackson's homeless.
That was funny, huh? That was actually kind
of. Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, no, the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings have a chance here. I mean, just the Osborne, Addison. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I'm
just gonna completely ignore Jefferson and Hawk.
No, because they're more consistent players. I'm talking about people that need to perform. That probably won't.
Oh,
yeah. Stop overreacting, buddy. Yeah, I don't like the Vikings at all. I wanted to like them coming into the year. I took them versus the Eagles, and then I just keep watching their games, and they're not fun to watch.
Yeah, they're not good.
On to Sunday Night Football. The Cowboys versus the Niners, one of the best rivalries in NFL history. You guys are both picking the Cowboys as 4-point underdogs. Niners
4-point underdogs.
4 points is a solid spread. Niners, I'm thinking it's going to be like a 27-20 Niners win. I think the Cowboys defense can keep the Niners under 30. But just looking at it, I think the Niners are going to run the ball on the Cowboys pretty solid, and I think that's why they win the game, really. That run game is just really tough in San Francisco to defend. And, I really like Purdy a lot. I like him to make good decisions with the ball, more than I would trust Dak to make good decisions with the ball. So I think that's ultimately the reason why the Niners are going to win this. I trust the quarterback to be safe with the ball, and I trust them to run the ball really well. But, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, but give me the Niners to win by 7.
I think I'm going to bet this game as well. Maybe not Cowboys to win, but, like, plus the points. This game just feels like a 2017 either way. Both defenses are great. The Niners haven't played a defense.
But the Niners offense is really good.
Played a defense like the Cowboys yet. No, they have not. Not even close.
But, all those playmakers, I don't think it matters. Shanahan, we know that they can score on anybody. They've scored on the best defenses in the NFL with Garoppolo the last few years.
Buddy.
What?
Cowboys they lock up everybody.
I mean, they did give up 35 to the Cardinals? No, it was 25. I don't know.
Okay, well, what happened in the other 3 games? They blew out their opponent. And it wasn't even a game. And their defense completely made the other team's quarterback look like a backup. And I don't think Purdy's been tested yet this year. I think I'm interested to see how he reacts because I feel like the whole season he hasn't been under any pressure. I mean, everything he's done, he's played fine. He's done what he's supposed to do, get the ball out quick. I mean, he hasn't been like under pressure like in the pocket either. And I think the Cowboys D line is just is probably, and I wouldn't say they're probably definitely on the same level as the Niners D line. So I think it'll be an interesting game, probably the best game of the weekend. And I'm going with the Cowboys. I prefer Dak over Purdy.
Yeah, I prefer Dak over Purdy as well. I think I agree that the 49ers run is going to be very hard to stop, but I don't like Purdy against this defense. I think he struggles. The Trayvon Diggs being out is sad to see. I think he makes a big difference in that defense, but still the Cowboys defense is
still have Gilmore.
What?
They still have Gilmore, so that's pretty nice. They still have number one corner, which is pretty crazy.
So, I mean, I don't like Purdy against this kind of pressure, but yes, McCaffrey is going to be incredibly hard to stop. I think he's offensive player of the year. But I'm a Cowboys fan, and I think the Cowboys could pull it out.
You're a Cowboys fan?
Yes, and I've told you just like 5 different times, and you have the same reaction every single time.
Wait, oh, you're not like an actual Cowboys fan. You just think you like them.
No, he's a Cowboys fan.
I'm like Broncos, and then Cowboys are number 2.
What? You never told me.
I'm a pretty big Cowboys fan.
Wow. None of us knew that. Well, you did wear a Cowboys hoodie a few weeks ago.
I'm always rooting for the Cowboys.
All right. Next game. All right, we can move on.
All right, on to the last game. The Packers. Raiders. Rematch of Super Bowl II from 1967.
Doesn't that just look disgusting?
This is supposed to be such a bad Monday night game.
This looks amazing. You see 2 historic franchises going
I don't care. This is going to be such a boring game.
They're the greatest Raiders player of all time, like Darren McFadden.
This might be just as boring as Seahawks Giants. Oh my god.
Anyway, what's really exciting, Adams versus Jair. That is going to be one exciting matchup to watch.
Yeah, but when is O'Connell throwing him the ball? Is it really even a?
We saw Adams last week still do good with O'Connell. I don't care.
He's also injured.
He's kind of hurt though. Yeah.
I don't care who's throwing him the ball. He's gonna be a good player and it's a good matchup to watch.
Fine. Packers.
Anyway, you know what's interesting? You know what I noticed? This might be the first matchup in NFL history with 2 kickers who are brothers going at it. Daniel Carlson versus his brother, the other Carlson, who's the Packers.
I knew that Daniel Carlson had a brother.
Because the Packers kicker is Carlson, and he's Daniel Carlson's brother.
I said I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I think they both went to Auburn, too. But anyway, that's an interesting matchup there. So you have the brothers going at it, kicker.
I think you're underestimating the Devontae Adams injury because he was going against the Chargers pass defense, dude. Like, they suck.
Packers defense is they're not great, but they're solid.
But it's Jair also.
The Packers are still struggling with injuries too, so.
And we saw their tan Devontae week 1.
Nick, don't have I don't want you to scoff. I don't want you to be roll your eyes at this. The only reason why you're picking the Raiders is because you're hate for the Packers.
What?
Roll your eyes. You know it's true.
No, what? I'm picking the Raiders because, listen.
They suck. Why?
I think you picked the Raiders to beat the Steelers, so what?
And the Steelers suck.
The Steelers and Packers are about on the same level.
Oh, the Packers win. The Packers are going to win 10 games?
Did you? No, I'm saying they played about the same level.
You said
4 games.
You said the Steelers are going to win 10 games.
I'm saying what they've played to so far. What they played to through 4 games.
Yeah.
But anyway, looking at the Packers, did you watch last Thursday night at home versus the Lions? They sucked.
Yeah, the Lions are good.
Okay, this game is in Las Vegas. The Raiders. I don't like the Raiders, but I think if this is a spot where they could win, I think
with
Adams.
O'Connell? No, man, no.
O'Connell's not a bad quarterback.
Not with Jimmy G. I don't think they win, but I think they have a chance.
Jimmy G. Him was the Packers. But anyway,
what?
I don't know at all. Actually,
have you not watched the Niners-Packers rivalry the last 3-4 years?
Yeah, they're for 88 yards. Yeah, nice.
But anyway.
Anything.
Both teams dealing with a lot of injuries, but Adams isn't even on the injury report, so I'm not too concerned. But Elton Jenkins questionable, Devondre Campbell questionable, Musgrave questionable. So anyway, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. But Monday night, I'm feeling the Raiders in this one. I think the Packers are favored by 1 point, so it's like a 50-50 game.
Bet the Packers, Jackson.
I mean, yeah, Jordan Love, I think, is still better than we are giving him.
O'Connell. Yeah,
Yeah, head and shoulders better than O'Connell. But I mean, like, they had the game against the Lions, which was awful. I think they should have beat the Falcons, in my opinion. And I mean, shut up.
I don't know about should have won. They lost.
They're up by 12 in the fourth.
But they blew it. They shouldn't have. Okay, then we can say they shouldn't have won the Saints game.
Right, dude. It's like, okay, it doesn't matter. Like they kept up with the Falcons, and I think
the Falcons suck.
I think they played better.
Saints suck.
My bad, man. The Raiders suck too. Like, what are we talking about?
I know. Okay, this is bad team versus bad team. I just think the Raiders at home. I like them in this situation.
Bad? How are the Packers bad?
LaFleur also is gonna take apart.
Usually
I'm joking, but this is serious.
If we need to say this again, Nick is a Bears fan, so he hates the Packers. He thinks they suck. Thinks Jordan loves.
Okay.
I just need to say that.
I didn't. No, you're just talking. You're just chatting, bro. I never said the Packers suck.
Shut up!
I think they're a bad football team. Looking at them right now, can we?
No.
Because the defense is underperformed.
You can be bad and be 2-2.
The defense is underperformed. The O-line's getting injured.
They lost the Falcons by 1 and the Lions. Those are not bad losses.
The receiving core is bad. The quarterback looks bad. Like, there's not a lot.
Bad.
I don't think they're a bottom feeder, but I think they're a pretty below average to bad team.
In the NFC, they can compete for a wild card.
I think they're a 6, maybe 7 win team.
Yikes! So if they win this, what do you think about them?
I think they're a 6, maybe 7 win team.
So this win,
an 8-win team, right?
What?
You said Giants were an 8-win team, right?
I did not say the Giants were an 8-win team. Yeah. Before the year, I had them winning a lot of games, but I think
I'm pretty sure we went through and we counted teams you thought the Giants were going to beat.
And you said this. Okay, we're not going to keep bashing them. We're good. All right.
But anyway, that's it. Should be an interesting matchup here. But yeah, that's our week.
Nothing's interesting about that matchup.
That's our week 5 game picks.